Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ministry. And today it's kind of a bit of a warning. I was watching, my dad had on, what you would call it, um, CSI Vegas the other day. And, in the episode, there was a murder victim who they were trying to figure out why this person had been so viciously killed. They had done some type of thing to put dust in his throat and all this kind of thing. That asphyxiation had caused this type of thing. And it was this type of violent thing. And the fact of the matter is, and this is all going to wrap around back to this Shaquilla Jackson thing. You just got to be extremely careful about who you associate yourself with. Right now, and I noticed it maybe within the past 2 weeks. I'm gonna say it's within the last week because that's when I started to feel in my spirit a spirit of illness trying to take over, which was trying to take my voice away from me. It's a Jezebelic spirit that was trying to do a cunning attack. And what it is it's that element of trying to operate in a spirit of control. So if it cannot stop you, it's going to do things in order to make you stumble, and in order to make you deal with like mental warfare type thing. And what does this have to do with that episode of CSI and the Shaquilla Jackson thing? The spirit of Jezebel partners with the spirit of Leviathan. They're like siblings, honestly. And what they try to do first is they try to wear you down with the mental warfare. Once they start with the mental warfare and get you as wore down as they think that they can with mental warfare, then they come at you. And it's so funny because, I know that the Lord was trying to show me something in relation to this, because randomly I was on Instagram yesterday and a post popped up in my feed. It was 10 slides talking about the characteristics to watch out for. Now, as we know, in the previous video, I talked about gaslighting. And gaslighting is that element where they try to come at you as if they are 100% kosher, and they try to big you up. But in their bigging you up, they try to confuse you. That's the part that I forgot to talk about. The confusion that the enemy uses in order to try, in the midst of them bigging you up, because if they can keep you confused, you're not going to be able to definitively shut them down. Then it was talking about victimhood. It talked about levels of trauma. It talked about negative compliments. And this was interesting because Mike Todd did a sermon about 2 weeks ago, and I talked about it when I capped off the perfect match. And he was talking about the fact that people will use certain gestures and it'll be like a sly, underhanded commentary and all of this kind of stuff, all these things in order to mentally mess you up in your head. And all of this stuff popped up on my Instagram the other day, and I was like, where's this coming from? And the thing about it is, there's the spirit of Leviathan and the spirit of Jezebel. They want you dead. let's just let's just be honest. They want you dead. The spirit of God that is within you is so threatening to them that what they will do is they will partner up in such a offensive attack. Because I had a dream about a month ago where I dreamt of a kangaroo kicking me in the mouth. And I'm like, what the heck is this? And I did some research on it, and it says kangaroo is usually a demonic spirit. And they want to cause confusion. And they do sneak attacks because kangaroo, the jumping kangaroos, their intent is to jump it, quick attack. And who else is talking about this? Somebody was talking about this recently, and it was not Megan Michelle. It was somebody else. But it's those types of sudden, quick attacks that you have no, you were not prepared for, to come out of nowhere. I've had people do this to me my entire life. That sudden, quick, unexpected attack. And it's usually from somebody that you would least expect it to come from. Because when you see it happen when you see people attack you, their attack from people that you know is like, oh, I know you. You have that spirit on you anyway. But when it comes from a person that was operating underneath a gaslighting spirit, you did not see it coming. Why am I bringing this up? Coming back to that CSI episode, in the midst of the episode, they had Christina Milian played in it. She played the character of this guy's girlfriend. And at first, the way it was going, it naturally assumed that she was going to end up being the sadistic, Jezebelic girlfriend that tried to kill him. Because everything pointed it to it being her, because it was even her guitar strings that were used to decapitate the man. And her knee pads were used in order to hold him down. So it was like, well, obviously it's her. So when she had went, because the man had a daughter, and she had went to the foster care facility because she was going to adopt the girl. She was like, I'm going to take you home with me. Because she was like, oh, I can't let his daughter. And the guy had been running around here sleeping with everybody that he could sleep with, because she knew of a series of women that he had been sleeping with. And that's why they assumed it was her that killed him. And they had brought her in and showed her the list of the other tapes of all the other women that he had been sleeping with. And it was like, naturally, everyone was like, she's going to admit that it was her that did it. She said, no, I didn't kill him. I swear I didn't kill him. But the fact of the matter was, the most unlikely suspect was the one that did it. Who? His daughter. At the end of the episode, they showed that the daughter had put on her knee pads, bubble-shaped knee pads, crawled on top of him in the middle of the night, took her mother's ashes, and I'm describing this for a reason, took the mother's ashes, shoved them down his throat in the middle of the night, dragged him out of the bed, took him down into the basement or the bedroom bathtub, I don't know. I don't know how she did this and didn't leave blood everywhere. She took the guitar strings, decapitated him. This is his child. Took the guitar strings and decapitated him. Then she knew that the girl, Christina Milian's character's stuff was in the basement because she was supposed to pack that stuff up. She packed the pieces of his body into each one of the boxes, and because those boxes were going to be shipped off somewhere else, whoever took them away and got rid of them for her. And even the CSI crime scene people were like, this person was strategic because they knew that by putting this stuff in these boxes the way that they did, that it prevented that nobody was going to really look for it because of the fact that all of the pieces were inside these boxes. So the work was done for them. They didn't even have to go and get rid of the body. But it come to find out that it was his very own blood daughter that did it. Why did I say this? Which leads me into this Shaquilla Jackson thing. She was surrounded by people that she would assume were friends. Okay? This is like when you see those crime scene shows where it's like it was always the son that turned around and killed everybody in the family, or it was the best friend that would nobody ever assume that it was them because y'all been best friends your entire life. How in the... That spirit of Jezebel's jealousy. Leviathan. Anger as unto murder. The spirit of Cain. In operation. Why am I even mentioning this? We are coming into a season where we are about to shift and cross over into some of the biggest and most amazing blessings that we have ever seen in our lives. Some of us have never seen what we're about to see in our lives transpire. And because of this, there are going to be people that are going to rise up that you never would have thought would have come against you. Because your life is finally coming into a place where there's finally order. And there are going to be people that are going to come out of the woodwork that have been there the whole time that you never would have thought. And it's funny because and this is a theme like the Lord has been showing me all week long, that I was looking at Equalizer on Sunday, and they were trying to track down this woman, was the entertainer played by Kelly Rowland. The whole episode, they were trying to figure out who in the world is this close to this woman that they are able to do this, and this. They darn near took out her assistant and she chose not to drink her tea, and the assistant drank the tea, and I even thought it was the assistant that was trying to kill her, but the assistant drank the tea and she ended up falling out. So it was like whoever it was close enough, and it came out to be that it was the new guitarist, and he had been setting her up the whole time because he wanted to take her out because she stole his mama's song or something like that. The point being is you got to be careful of the people that you keep close to you. And even in the midst of that, she was feeling so out of order and out of place mentally that she pushed away the two people that were trying to help her. The guy that you could already tell who he was interested in her. that was her security team covering, and then the guy, the actual Queen Latifah's character that was the equalizer. She freaked out and pushed both of them away and ran right into the guy that was trying to kill her. What is my point? You've got to be discerning of the people that you have around you, because in this season, the Lord showed me in a dream. Oh, can I share this? In a dream, I was walking. I had finally come to a point where I'd met my God ordained spouse. And for my own protection of our relationship, I had gone to a family event, but I didn't bring him with me. Not initially. Or at least I didn't think I did. And I went to the family event, and all the people that I saw were people that I didn't want to be around. So I'm in there thinking, why am I surrounded by people that I know have stabbed me in the back before? And so I know I didn't want him there. But here he comes. Because the door was open, and this person that I did not recognize, and her name was Jamie, had went and opened the door because he was coming upstairs, and I could hear him in the hallway. He has this air about him that as soon as he starts laughing, it's like, what? Really, sir? You could hear him down the hall. And he was coming up the steps, and I was like, oh. So then it made it even more awkward because I wasn't expecting him to be there, and I wasn't ready to explain myself, meaning explain him being there. And instantaneously, I was noticing as soon as he got up there, I was starting to feel the venomous looks and all of this kind of stuff from certain people. And I'm observing the people that I'm seeing the venomous looks coming from. And he's introducing himself. He's being himself, cordial, jovial, extremely nice, wonderful. And he got a guy that anyone would love. And I'm watching, I'm gauging the room, and because I'm gauging the room, I'm not as engaged with him as I would be if I was comfortable being, because I'm scoping the land. I'm like, what y'all up to? Y'all up to something? What's up? And Jamie, which I ended up turning around and looking at, that name had two meanings, because I have no friend named Jamie. But I knew that this person's name was Jamie. And it was two different meanings. One was protection, and this person was a protector. And then the other meant that they were sanctified. I don't know. I'd have to look the dream up. But point being is, when your blessings come, you're going to have to be on high alert to the people that you are around, because you don't know who's going to try to stab you in the back. Because sometimes you're sitting there thinking that the people that you know stab you in their back are going to be the ones that are going to stab you in the back. In this season, the people that are going to stab you in the back are going to be the ones that you trust. Just like in that scenario with that girl, nobody would have thought that little girl who was 13 years old would have done all of that to kill her father. But I explained that because I'm like, do you understand what kind of mental hatred you have to have for somebody to go through the process of taking them out in such a way. You understand what I'm saying? But when we look at the Shaquilla Jackson situation, she went on vacation with her friends. People would have thought that everything was cool. But then you also have to look at the fact, think about the spirit of pharmakia. They were all drinking that night. When you are drinking, whatever emotion that you already have in your spirit, it is amplified 15 times. So whatever it is that's underlying is going to come up. If you've been suppressing it, if you've been whatever it is, it's going to come up. If you sexually stimulated, that's what's going to come up. If you angry, that's what's going to come up. If you enraged, that's what's going to come up. Whatever that is. And something went on and it caused whatever incident. But we also have to understand with the spirit of Jezebel, the way that operates, you didn't have to do anything. The spirit of Leviathan that moves through Jezebel, lust, greed, malice, ungodliness. Leviathan cannot be taken out by you. You can't confront that demon. That thing, all you can do is let it back you in the corner and pray to Jesus that he gonna take it out in the name of Jesus, because I faced that spirit 3 or 4 different times. I faced it in family members. I faced it in roommates. I faced it in people that I may have thought were friends at the time. I faced it. And in facing it, I've come to the realization you can't do nothing but sit there and let it do what it wants to do. Because if you try to engage it because you see what it is, because it's the thing that pisses me off every time I deal with it, I see where it is. I see what spirits are operating through it, and I understand it, and you can't confront that thing. Only God can take the head off of that thing. And that's a spiritual move that he has to do. Nina, Bold for Christ, did a video last night where she was talking about God is about to do that. What he's going to do is he's going to take the individual, he's going to read their judgmental rights, and then he's going to take the person and put them in purgatory. That the wilderness that we are coming out of, they about to go in. And when they go in, that's when they're going to see God. A lot of us have been praying for our enemies. Every time I get a chance, I pray for the ones that have done me wrong. But once those people have been taken care of, the enemies that you see today, you shall see no more. Realize that when you cross over into your new level and you reach that next height, there's going to be new enemies. And some of them are going to look like familiar faces. And you're going to have to be aware of it, that it's there. Now, some of these things will never return again because God's saying, this is it. It's over. I'm no longer allowing the spirit to come back after you. But in some cases, there are certain spirits that are going to leave you for a season and they will come back different. As you recall, it says, if the house is swept clean, the enemy goes and gets 7 friends, he cannot return to his house. Meaning that spirit can no longer return. God will take that one out. But 7 others operating in similar orientations with a heavier weight. Listen to what I said in the freshman word. They will come back. It will be 7 brand new, much heavier, much more demented demons that are going to come back. And the breaking of those demons, it's going to be different. Now, because you're going to a crossover land, you may not have to deal with them like that. But do understand, God ain't sending you over there just to sit and cross your legs and just enjoy the comforts of your new season. He's sending you over there because there's work to do. And yeah, the things that you're going to have to face in order to walk into the very things that you're called to walk into, them 7 demons over there. And they will move through different people. Because you're going to deal with heavier witchcraft. You're going to deal with different things. And that Jezebelic spirit, especially if any of y'all are called to creative industries like the music, the entertainment industry, anything like that, there are people that are operating in a haughty spirit that have lust for the fame and the camera, but pride comes before a fall. You have to come to the understanding that God will allow you to get over there, and he'll even allow them to see you, but he's not going to let them touch you. Saul was not allowed to kill David, but he ended up taken out after all. Sometimes the Lord will allow them high priestesses and what have you to try their best shot against you. But you have to understand that you have to stand in the midst of it. And we hate it. 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 Because we're like, God, I don't want these people coming at me like this, intimidating me like this, threatening me like this. Do you realize that? I had a previous roommate literally threaten to wrap me up in a plastic bag. He's like, oh, well, ain't nobody ever come and check and make sure I can wrap you up in a plastic bag and have you dead in that bed. I'm sitting there like, this is one of the one. Why would you say that? I made her angry one time, and she sat up here talking about, you don't realize I could do such and such with a gun and blow you. I'm sitting up there like, why do you go all the way over there? You see what I'm saying? But I had God on my side. I did. And because I had God on my side, I don't know what's going to happen to her. I have forgiven the human being, but demons upon her. So my statement is this. Be careful. Megan did a word not too long ago called smiling snakes. The spirit of narcissism and gaslighting is very mentally and emotionally type of spirit that will wear you out. It will bring you to tears when I tell you. Because you can't really fight it. Because it's sudden, it's quick, and it's an intense attack. You should have to take that back to God. In the one way that I found peace is I would go into my quiet prayer space. And everything in me wants to curse that person out and tell them what I think. I will go into my quiet space and I will start to worship and pray to the Lord, whether I started crying or not. And when I came out of that place, the person was at peace again. So keep an eye and watch your back. Make sure you got the right people around you. Because remember, even Judas walked up to Jesus and kissed him on the cheek. Food for thought. Keep your eyes and ears open. Be very aware of who you're hiring, who you're firing, who you're keeping into your circle. I remember it's a young woman, Marissa Romero. She recently had a case where she built her entire following. She was up to almost, 10,000 followers or about to hit 1 million, I forget. And she was right there at the point, and somebody had went in to her system and erased everything involving her account. And when they did that, they literally nearly destroyed everything that she had built on her YouTube platform. And she had to fight, she had to call YouTube, she had to do all of this. Why? Because the person that she fired as her assistant became so enviously jealous because they still had her passwords. They went in and erased everything, her entire account. She had to go through hell and high water to get all of her videos back, everything from her account back, and it was a nightmare. Be careful who you trusting in this season, because they are literally out here to either destroy your characterly assassinate you, physically assassinate you, or destroy your platform, because they just hate you that much. And it's not that they hate you, they hate the God in you. Pray for discernment in this season, because it can literally save your life. This is Taj McCameron for LFPB Ministries, and I hope this blessed you. Till next time. Bye-bye.